Aloha and welcome to the one take video of how to build your upload package for your computer science IA. In this video I will explain to you how to build the package that you need to turn in to the IB for your IA. Okay, so this video assumes that what you've done already is that you've completed your IA, and that also you've also uncompressed everything that's in the forms.zip folder that was supplied to you out onto your drive, okay, onto your computer. Okay, in this case here, you can see here I've unzipped my forms.zip, and it has a cover page. It has a documentation folder which contains some simple templates of what you have there, and it contains a product folder. Okay. Now you want to keep this basic infrastructure intact and this basic file structure intact. Okay. Now what you want to do, the first thing you want to do is that if you've been doing things correctly, is to copy your files into the structure. Okay. So in this case here, I'm going to use the files from Connor Walsh of the class of 2017. Okay. So I'm getting here, and these are his files here. Okay. And notice what you need to have here is, this is his documentations folder. And notice what he's done is that he's created PDF versions of all of his files. This is what I recommend that you do too. Okay. And notice how it's named. It's named exactly the same as it was in these original templates provided. Okay, so you have these files here, right, with these names here. And really, when you create your version of it, all you want to do is to name it here with the same name, but put a .pdf here. So another thing that Connor's done is that he's also renamed his appendices, right? Here he's created a couple of appendices that we recommend here at Ingram for the client evaluation interview and the client requirement interview as well. Okay, and of course he has his video, his MP4 video. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to delete all of this here, since I don't need any of these templates here that were provided in the original forms.zip file. And I will copy all of Connor's documentation into there. Okay. Now, so that's your documentation folder. Then the next thing you want to do is that you want to copy your product, all of your executable, and perhaps your README, or maybe something else in addition. You want to go to, up here, right? We want to go to the product, and we want to copy, in this case we have a Java executable. We want to copy that into the product folder. And in Connor's case, he also created his source code, right, in a sources folder, and I'm going to move that into there as well. Okay. So, and that is also recommended that you provide commented source code for your product. Okay. So now that we have all of those files in there, we're now going to edit the cover page so that we can turn it into the IB. Okay. So to edit the cover page, HTML page, now I'm going to use Notepad++, which is installed on the school computers. But you may actually use Notepad or some other text editor, or you may use I like to use Notepad++ just because it is on the school computers, and it does enable you to see. It does enable you to see what the HTML structure looks like. Okay, and so this is it here. Okay, if you use something like Notepad, right? It won't necessarily show these nice colors where all the tags are. Now to edit this, what I need to do is here. So the first thing, I'll put my name here, right? And actually it might be good to show you run launch in Firefox what the actual one looks like. So this is what it looks like, and we're going to edit it to provide our details. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put my candidate name, and I'm going to use my real name, Lawrence Tanimoto. And my school number is for Ingram, it's 1401. And my solution title is Connor's IA. And the candidate session number, this you need to get your own. So I'm going to just make up a number. I'd say 999. Then you have a bunch of things here. Username, whoever your username is, and I'll say it's my grandmother, right? But you should use, of course, your real name here. Product, I'm going to call my product. So this is a link to the product. And in this case here, if you looked at it, links to product, add link here. So we need to, now let's do this a little bit later. So this is a link to the product. Okay. We'll do that last. Any other, okay, so we'll do that. Links to documentation. So we're going to do the links to the product last. Okay. Now, if you notice, now we have to do the planning document. Now, if you named the PDFs for the planning document, the design document, the evaluation document, and so forth, using the PDF and using the structure mentioned, you don't need to change this very much here, right? You don't like the design, the record of tasks, those are all the same. Development. Now video, now if you notice that the video has an AVI file. In my particular case, or in the case of Connor, right? He has an MP4, so you have MP4. Okay. We have that, right? Evaluate criterion D. PDF. Actually, that may be a mistake here. I believe that it's criterion E, right? So that actually is a mistake. Criterion E PDF. That's an interesting one. Okay, so I made those two changes there to match what actually exists. And then you can see here for the appendices, I have this information here, but what I'll also need to do here is notice that this is just for one appendix, but really I have a couple other appendices, right? So in this case here, I want to say I have the name of my appendices are one, it's client evaluation, right? Interview, and this is, and I'll put here client evaluation, right? Interview, right? And so that's for our first appendix, right? That's our first appendix. And now if I have other appendices, what I need to do is I need to copy this TR here. This is for a table row, and we actually have to create another table row here. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put that there, right? And I'm going to make two additional ones here. Oh, and actually this second one here, I don't need to put this appendices again, so I can just leave that blank like that. Right? Oops. And then here. And this one becomes client requirements, client requirements, requirements, email client requirements, 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 interview, right? And then the last thing I want to do is I want to, evaluation, interview. Oh, okay. Actually, this one here I want to have last, right? And this one I'm going to call href. And the last one I have here is going to be my sources, href sources, right? Sources, and I'll put source code in sources folder. Okay. So that gives us a basic thing here. Now this particular hyperlink won't work in an HTML file, but we'll just mention this here so that when the grader looks at it, they know that, hey, at least they can look in the sources folder. Okay, and then the last thing I need to do here is to add my word count. And I'm going to say I have a 2,000 word count, right? Which is the maximum. Okay. Now if I save it and I run this, and I'm going to launch this in Firefox, right? It looks pretty good here, right? And you notice that I link that. Client interview there goes up there. Planning goes up here. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so the last thing we need to do here is to edit the links to the product here, right? And the additional directions. So to do that, right, we can bring up our cover page editing again. Okay, and then you can see here links to product, add link here. And then here we have to create what is known as a hyperlink. Okay, and this becomes something like a href f, and then we want to do the equals, right? And this becomes product. And in this particular case, the name of the product is, we have to look here, right? And here, documentation. Product, it's harmonymaker.jar. Right? Harmony maker jar, right? And then we put that href, right? And then we have to put the text that appears with this harmony maker.jar, which is the text that appears, right? Then close A, right? So notice here that I have a hyperlink, and this is the path to the jar file, and I also put the text that I want to appear between the A. Okay. Then the other thing I need to do here is the directions, and say if the product does not load, please go to the product folder and click on not index.html but harmony maker.jar. Okay. Now I can say run. I can again launch. I should file save. I can run, launch in Firefox, and this is now what it looks like, right? And if I click on it, I actually get again. Oh, would you like to say? Oh, okay. This is open here, right? It doesn't actually open because of some security reasons, but I can save it and I can run it that way. Okay. So that actually works. Okay. So now once you've created your cover page, right? You've created your cover page. What you now need to do is you need to go up to the top folder here. In this case, I called it Ingram, right? You can right click it and you can send it to a zip file, compressed zip folder here, right? I can create a zip file here and then rename it with your name. Lawrence Tanimoto IA ibcsia.zip. Okay. And this is what you can turn in to me for your IB, and this is what I will also turn into the IB. Anyway, it's a bit long, but thank you very much.